Have you ever ordered something online? Maybe a cool gadget piece of clothing from overseas and been really surprised how quickly and cheaply it arrived. No hidden fees.
Yeah, it feels almost seamless sometimes.
Exactly. It's almost like magic, right? Well, behind that, especially for stuff under $800 coming into the US, there's this unsung hero, the de minimis rule.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the kicker. This system, which has been around for ages, it's now going through this, well, seismic shift.
A really big change, yeah.
So our deep dive today is all about unpacking what de minimis really is, why it's changing so much, and most importantly, what this new era, we're talking tariff enforcement, customs getting complicated, rising costs, what it means for everyone.
Right, from the big platforms down to the small sellers.
And you, the consumer, ultimately. We'll look at the practical impact, try and arm you with some insights on how global supply chains are fundamentally, well, rebalancing.
It's a major realignment.
Welcome to Logistics Pulse, sponsored by Mothership. Skip the broker to save big on LTL shipments, or deliver same day nationwide.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What exactly was de minimis and how did it become such a big deal?
So at its core, de minimis was kind of an obscure customs thing, a provision. Think of it like a special fast lane.
Right.
It allowed goods valued under $800 to come in duty-free. It wasn't just a rule, though. It turned into this incredibly frictionless gateway, especially for small e-commerce packages. And that fueled this almost unbelievable rapid cross-border growth, a huge amount of that, naturally, coming from China.
And when you say rapid growth, like what kind of scale are we actually talking about here? It sounds like more than just a little convenient.
Oh, it was anything but small. I mean, the scale is just staggering, really. It wasn't some quiet little loophole.
Right.
It basically morphed into this massive $188 billion pipeline for tariff-exempt e-commerce. Imagine over 1 billion packages a year.
Wow, 1 billion.
Yeah, annually, just flowing into the U.S., bypassing a lot of the usual customs checks. It really became the secret sauce, the fuel for giants like Shein and Temu.
Allowing them to get that fast fashion here so cheap?
Exactly, straight to your door, super fast, super cheap.
Okay, that's genuinely staggering. So if it was this, quiet enabler of convenience and growth, why the sudden change now? What's driving this?
Well, now we're seeing some pretty sharp regulatory scrutiny, and there's a really strong political consensus forming.
Okay.
The feeling is that de minimis, while super convenient, essentially became a backdoor, a way for mass-scale, duty-free imports to flood in. Critics are pretty loud now, saying it puts American brands at a serious disadvantage.
Right, undercutting local businesses.
And it makes it harder for efforts to, reshore manufacturing, bring jobs back.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got pressure from both political parties and even like a popular backlash against fast fashion counterfeit goods.
Got it.
That really reframed it. It went from being a consumer convenience to what policymakers are now calling a national economic vulnerability.
Gotcha.
And it's not just this rule. There's also the planned end of the USPS International Postal Exception. That adds another layer of disruption.
It sounds like a strong political push, and you can see why, and the concerns about American brands. But wasn't the original idea behind de minimis also about helping, small businesses, letting new ideas get into the market easily?
That's a really excellent point. Yeah.
Are we maybe losing something valuable by potentially closing this gate?
The original intent was definitely about cutting red tape for small shipments, encouraging trade, no doubt.
Okay.
What happened, though, is it got leveraged on such an enormous industrialized scale, mostly by a few really dominant players, that it arguably just skewed the whole playing field, made it really tough for domestic businesses, even small ones, to compete on price.
Right.
So while it started as maybe a simplification, the sheer volume just brought it under this intense scrutiny.
Okay, so this golden era is ending.
Yeah.
Let's get practical. What does this actually mean for those cheap, fast deliveries maybe we've all gotten used to? Who feels the pinch first?
Well, the immediate impact is significant, especially for the big logistics giants, the carriers.
The DHL, FedEx.
Exactly. They're facing major operational and financial consequences. The challenge for them isn't just more paperwork.
No.
It's about re-engineering entire systems that were built for speed and volume under what was almost like an implicit don't ask, don't tell approach to customs for these small items.
Okay. Less scrutiny before.
Right. Now, they're being forced to become essentially data-driven customs enforcers for billions of low-value things. It's a fundamental shift for them.
Wow.
And that's why a company like DHL, for instance, is forecasting their U.S. profits could actually shrink, maybe by up to 3%.
That's significant.
It is. They'll need to handle much more complex customs declarations, invest a lot in new compliance tech, and inevitably, well, they'll either pass those costs on or absorb them, probably pass them on.
And that ripple effect, it hits the e-commerce sellers directly, right? For those smaller players who really leaned on these simple import channels, are we talking like an existential threat?
For some, yes. Honestly, the end of de minimis could be existential. It's a real make-or-break moment, especially if you're a direct-to-consumer business shipping from overseas. The whole landscape just changes.
How so?
Well, you're going to see costs go up, delivery times likely get longer, and profit margins. They're definitely going to get squeezed, particularly for those cheap items that are no longer exempt from duties and all the data requirements. We're already seeing some platforms looking at, localized inventory, domestic fulfillment.
Storing goods here in the U.S.?
Yeah, exactly. But that's a huge undertaking. It needs serious capital, warehouses, a whole new kind of operational complexity they might not be used to.
And for you listening, who's gotten used to those cheap, fast, duty-free imports, I'm guilty too. You click buy, expect it tomorrow, don't even think about borders or duties.
We'll all do it.
It's almost unsettling how fast that convenience could unravel, isn't it?
It is. Consumers might very well face higher prices at checkout, maybe fewer choices from overseas sellers. As one of our sources put it, quite evocatively, the full price of free shipping is about to be revealed.
Oof. That hits home.
It's really remarkable how quickly something designed for convenience can suddenly be seen as this vulnerability, shifting costs right across the whole value chain.
This sounds like it's way bigger than just tweaking a trade policy. It feels like a fundamental rebalancing of how global supply chains serve the U.S. market.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Customs enforcement itself is shifting dramatically.
Hi.
It's moving away from the old way newbie, risk-based sampling, checking a few packages here and there.
Right.
Now it's becoming much more data-driven scrutiny, which means there's this new demand for tighter digital traceability, stricter country of origin proof for every single package, not just a random selection.
Every package. That's huge.
It's a massive shift. And look, this is probably just the start. The warning signs are clear.
Meaning?
We could see the de minimis threshold, that $800 limit, lowered even further. Maybe origin rules get tightened. You might even see company-specific restrictions imposed.
Wow.
The clear signal, really, from all of this is that golden era of frictionless cross-border shipping. It's decisively ending.
Okay, this next point feels really crucial then. This isn't just about an $800 limit, like you said. It sounds like businesses need a complete strategic rethink.
Definitely.
So for shippers, what concrete steps should they be taking, like right now, to navigate this new landscape?
Absolutely. It's pivot time,
Yeah.
strategically. So first, shippers really need to seriously consider shifting to U.S.-based or maybe near-shore fulfillment centers.
Okay, moving inventory closer.
Exactly. Get the inventory closer to the customer.
Yeah.
That helps bypass that increasing cross-border friction.
Makes sense.
For instance, Shane and Temu, the huge de minimis users, they're already leasing warehouse space in the U.S., setting up for local fulfillment.
Right.
Smaller brands. They can use 3PLs, that's third-party logistics partners, to do the same thing.
Okay.
And if you're sourcing from China, maybe even near-shoring, moving operations to a nearby country, like Mexico. For U.S. businesses, that's an option too. Providers like Sky Postal or CBT handle that. Second big step. Prepare for formal customs clearance, even for stuff that used to be considered low value.
So more paperwork, more data.
Pretty much. It means setting up systems to capture HS codes. That's the harmonized system code, the standard product classification number, really key for tariffs.
Got it.
You need that. Plus country of origin, commercial invoices, right when the order is placed, at the order level.
Okay. Tools can help with that.
Yeah, platforms like Shopify or BigCommerce can integrate tools that help automate calculating the total cost, including duties and taxes.
Andy.
And make sure your fulfillment team or your 3PL partner is ready to handle DDP shipments. That's delivered duty paid, meaning they handle all the duties and taxes up front, so the customer doesn't get a surprise bill.
So it's about being really proactive on the data side, not just waiting for customs to flag something. What's next? What's step 3?
Third, it's really time to audit your entire product catalog. Figure out your tariff exposure.
Go through everything you sell.
Yep. Identify which products, which SKUs are most vulnerable to these new duties. Prioritize resourcing for your high-volume items. Things like apparel, accessories, electronics often fall into this category.
Right.
So, for example, if you were bringing in phone cases or t-shirts under $800 from China, duty-free, now you might be looking at, say, 5 to 17% tariffs on those same items.
Ouch.
Yeah. So this is the moment to maybe reevaluate sourcing. Look at places like Vietnam, India, Central America, countries where tariff classifications might be better under existing trade deals. Okay, fourth point. Communicate any price changes transparently to your customers.
Be upfront about it.
Exactly. As your landed costs go up, you'll probably have to adjust your pricing. Just make sure your checkout experience is clear. Avoid that sticker shock.
Good advice.
Some brands, like Allbirds or Everlane, they already do transparent pricing well. You could maybe adopt a similar approach, show a duty-included badge, or just clearly update your shipping info, timelines, rates right there on your storefront. And finally, fifth point. Monitor the evolving rules and actually build a tariff response playbook.
Because this isn't over yet.
Not at all. De minimis is just the first big shoe to drop, likely. So designate someone on your team or get an advisor to track what U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, is doing. Policy updates are key.
Stays informed.
Right. Maybe join trade groups like the NRF National Retail Federation or RILA, the Retail Industry Leaders Association, even CBP's own advisory committee, COAC. They give you insights.
Good idea.
And crucially, create a contingency plan, a matrix for different tariff scenarios. Like, what if the threshold drops from $800 down to $400? What's your plan B?
Wow, that's a really comprehensive set of actions for shippers. Very practical. But what about the bigger players, the carriers, the wider supply chain leaders? What are their strategic moves in this whole rebalancing act?
Yeah, good question. For carriers, it's absolutely critical they upgrade their customs capabilities.
Or tech investment.
Massive tech investment. Automating how they capture HS codes, validate origin, file digital entries. It means investing heavily in AI and data systems.
Yeah.
They have to move from just being a pass-through to being sophisticated data analysts for every single parcel.
That's a big change.
It is. They also really need to support shippers through this transition, offer resources, guidance, helping small and medium businesses navigate these new rules. That's how they'll earn trust and keep market share.
Right.
And with that USPS international exception ending, carriers have to rethink how much they rely on postal services for that last mile. That channel was surprisingly cheap for years. But now, relying on it forces them to internalize more delivery costs, more operational complexity. So they need new strategies there, too. Supply chain leaders, thinking more broadly, they should be watching for reshoring opportunities.
Bringing manufacturing back or closer.
Exactly. As direct imports get pricier, maybe localized assembly or nearshoring starts to look much more attractive. It's about aligning your sourcing with tariff risk and where policy seems to be heading long term.
Makes sense.
They also need to do that scenario modeling for new cost structures. Prepare for volatility, not just today's changes. Expect more shifts.
Got it.
And, crucially, they should be advocating for clearer rules. Everyone benefits when the policies are transparent and consistently enforced. It makes navigating all this much easier.
Yeah.
You know, if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, it's really about building resilience and agility into the entire system, which I think raises a really important question. Are businesses truly ready to make that pivot, to shift focus from just speed towards building smarter, more compliant supply chains?
Well, there you have it. The de minimis era, that whole period of kind of global reach without much regulatory friction, it's clearly closing.
It really is.
The key takeaway, I think, from this deep dive is that the winners in this new regime, they'll be the ones who can adapt their supply chains. Not just to move goods faster, but smarter and with way more transparency.
Smarter and compliant, yeah.
So, as the world moves towards these more localized, transparent, compliant supply chains, here's a thought to leave you with. What surprising innovations might actually emerge? What new ideas might pop up to bridge that gap between what we want globally and the new local realities?
That's a great question to ponder.
Something to think about.
For more insights like these, don't forget to subscribe to Logistics Pulse on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.